today to learn about the area growth zones that Con Edison has developed and the very tight deadlines that we're going to be working with. My name is Mark Brescia, and I'm the Bronx account manager for the City of New York's Clean Heat program. We also have my colleagues Luke Serwer and Madeline Knapp on the phone, and they take care of Manhattan. We also work in the other boroughs, but the main focus today that we're going to be discussing is obviously Con Edison's territory, which is the Bronx and Manhattan and very small parts of Brooklyn. So we will be running you through that. Want to ask everyone to take a look at the top control bar. You'll see a box labeled Q&A. That's question and answer. If you have questions while we're going along, please type your question into that Q&A box, and we're going to answer those in order after the conclusion of the presentation. Presentation should take 25 to 30 minutes, and then we'll leave the rest of the time for Q&A. So feel free to use that Q&A box. All the phones are going to be on mute for the duration of the call until we open it up for Q&A for anyone who isn't available to view the webinar or see it in person and is following along on a hard copy. You can definitely ask questions. We will open the lines up, but if you are logged on and you're able to see the Q&A box, please use it, and we'll go through those questions in order. If the question gets answered during the course of the webinar, we will still address it and let you know where that came up. So thanks again for joining us. Want to tell everyone a little bit about who the New York City Clean Heat program is. We are an outreach effort from the Mayor's Office of Long-Term Planning and Sustainability. We are a completely free service for anyone who has to move their building from number 6 and number 4 heavy heating oil in compliance with local law that's directed at improving the air quality here in the 5 boroughs so we can all breathe better. We want to provide you with technical assistance, financial assistance, and be an unbiased resource to help you make educated decisions as you move through this conversion process, and we can help you comply with the greatest of ease. We are a 100% fuel neutral program. We have no preference as to what you're moving to. We just want to make sure you are in compliance. That means that number 2 fuel oil, biodiesel, Con Edison steam, other alternatives like geothermal or cogeneration, anything that is not number 6 and number 4 heavy heating oil. What we are here to talk about is one of those alternatives today, which is natural gas through Con Edison. Natural gas is also available through National Grid in Brooklyn and Staten Island. Just want to address today's topic, which is natural gas from Con Edison, and that is the main point of this webinar. We do host many other meetings to discuss all your alternatives, and we are available to meet you at your offices in the 5 boroughs as needed to explain to you and the rest of your team the details of any particular conversion, not just natural gas. But let's get started with today's topic, Con Edison area growth zones. Con Edison has launched several area growth zones. This has never been done before. They are telling us where they are planning to build infrastructure in the coming year. It was previously done on a kind of rolling basis, not really clear as to what the capacity was. Several buildings got responses from Con Edison that it would be very costly to bring natural gas to their property. This is a completely different and new strategy. With this strategy comes very, very tight deadlines, and I want to point those out. They're listed in red for these particular areas. This is just a brief summary of the neighborhoods in particular. Obviously, this is New York City. Neighborhood names vary. These are kind of general guidelines. We are here as a free resource, once again, to help you determine where your property falls, which growth zone. So as you can see, our email address is info@nyccleanheat.org. If you send us a listing of your properties, We will turn them around tomorrow and let you know which ones fall into the area growth zone and supply you with the necessary paperwork to submit to Con Edison to make this very easy. So the concept behind this is that where it may have been difficult to bring natural gas to one building, they are grouping these buildings together by neighborhood so that they can assess the entire area for natural gas capacity. This is your best opportunity, if you are in one of these area growth zones, to get natural gas capacity at zero cost or very, very low cost. All the area growth zone requests are for firm rate natural gas. That means that you will be burning exclusively natural gas. This does not mean that you must buy your gas from Con Edison. You can purchase your gas from any energy services company that is a natural gas supplier. New York State is a deregulated state, so you are not committed to purchasing your natural gas from Con Edison. You are committed to burning natural gas exclusively. This has many benefits, including significantly reduced maintenance and not having to worry about being fined if the temperature drops and you would have to switch to oil. You don't have to worry about that with firm rate natural gas. So it is a great option. Once again, the deadlines listed in red are the application deadlines, and we'll go into what it means to submit your application momentarily. But if you miss these deadlines, you will not be participating in this group rate. Like we all know, when buying in a group, it often works to your benefit. If you miss the deadline, you'll be analyzed individually, and that could result in a very high cost and significant delays. The properties that participate in this area growth zone strategy are going to get priority access, and Con Edison has committed to these deadlines to delivering natural gas for next heating season 2013. So once again, if you are unsure of where your property falls, we are happy to find that out for you and give you everything you need to get started with this. With that, we're going to move forward onto the actual deadlines and what the commitments are to Con Edison. I'm using the first set of deadlines. There's 3 sets of deadlines, as you saw on the previous slide, but just for example's sake, we're going to go through the first set of deadlines. The first deadline is what's called the application deadline. This is coming up very, very fast for a significant number of these properties, and that's December 14th. 2 things have to be done by December 14th. You must submit what's called an acknowledgement letter, and we'll go through that a little bit later on. That is something that must be done by the building owner or property manager, someone who is financially responsible. Basically, it's anyone except the contractor performing the actual conversion and engineer, that sort of thing. The other half of the December 14th deadline is a contractor, such as a master plumber, a professional engineer, or your boiler services company must submit a gas service request through Con Edison's website, and they have all done this before. They know what they're talking about, so when you tell them that they need to submit their gas service request by the 14th, they know how to do that. So it is a 2-part application process. One from a contractor who's going to fill out some technical forms so that Con Edison can address how much natural gas capacity your property needs. The other is your property acknowledging that it is you who is going to keep the contractor on track with these very specific deadlines and are aware what's going on, and that you do actually want and are interested in natural gas. Once you've submitted this 2-part application, there is a 60-day waiting period where Con Edison will be assessing the entirety of all the applications for the neighborhood to determine the way to lay out the infrastructure to provide the lowest possible cost for everyone interested that submitted an application. I say waiting period, but this is not a sit-on-your-hands waiting period and do nothing while Con Edison waits to give you a ruling. you have a lot to do during those 60 days. If, the December 14th deadline is very, very fast approaching, you may not be able to do everything you need to know if natural gas is the right solution for you, but you definitely have to do it during that 60-day period. That includes selecting a contractor by placing, requests for qualifications and getting multiple bids, as well as figuring out, when those bids come back, what the financial cost of the conversion will be, and what you need to have done, and how you'll finance that project. And we'll go through all of those. That then brings us to March 29th. So Con Edison will send you a reply at February 28th. What does that mean? Are you committed to converting to natural gas? Do you have to move forward? No, you don't. But by March 29th, you have to have made a decision, yes or no, and you have to let Con Edison know what your decision is. Yes, I'm moving forward with natural gas. We're going to start construction. Things are moving forward. Or no, thank you. It doesn't work for us based on whatever factors you've chosen. So you're not 100% committed until you have sent that response. That response can be any time between February 28th and March 29th. So that takes us to the acknowledgement letter. This is a very simple form that says you, the building owner or property manager, are interested in moving forward and being considered as part of this area growth zone. Very easy. It's something that you print out. We will send you the necessary paperwork for your properties. It is page 5 of the packet. Simply fill it out, sign it, date it, scan it, and email it back to gasconversions@coned.com. Once again, this is a very simple form. If you have an existing case number, and we'll go through some different scenarios at the end here, but if you've applied for natural gas previously and have an open case number, please be sure to include that. For your contractors who are submitting the gas service requests on your behalf, the other half of this application process, make sure they indicate which zone your property is in, and of course the Clean Heat team will indicate to you what zone that is once we've found it for you. This is a fairly straightforward letter, just want to be participating in the growth zone. So that then takes us to the deadline. You've submitted your acknowledgement letter. Your contractor has submitted your gas service request. You are now in that 60-day waiting period. What do you need to be doing? You need to be speaking with an engineer or a contractor to help you determine several different aspects of your individual system that will determine what it will take to convert to natural gas. Some of those are basically, the condition of the boiler and burner. Do you have an existing dual fuel burner? Many, many properties have dual fuel burners installed that can burn both oil or natural gas. So that's a big chunk of looking at what is available. Another major aspect is the chimney, and we can talk in depth about chimney lining. If you have a clay or terracotta chimney in good condition, there's no problem. If you have a steel or metal chimney, also no problem. If your chimney is not in good condition, if it's a masonry chimney and not a fire brick chimney, you will have to get it lined with the steel liner or thermocrete, which is another product. But happy to talk to you about that, and your contractor and engineer will tell you and spec out the project. What do you need to do? So please, solicit multiple bids. There's a varying degree out there, and we want to make sure that you're looking at all the opportunities, and you know that you have this 60-day period to assess that and make an educated decision on selecting the right contractor and route to do that. The other reason that you submit the acknowledgement letter is that Con Edison wants to make sure that they can actually contact you. That is very important. Should you change contractors, The contractor that you select to do the actual work does not have to be the contractor that selected the load letter. So please make sure that you are filling out that acknowledgement letter so that Con Edison has your contact information directly. So that's really the main reason for that acknowledgement letter. So once you've determined what the cost of the project is going to be, it is very simple to fill out and find out what the benefit to you will be. You can see the link here, and we can send this to you. It's coned.com/gasconversions/calculator.asp. This is a very simple tool that Con Edison has publicly available for you to find out, based on how many gallons of oil you burn, the fuel grade that you're burning, and the price that you're paying per gallon, what your savings would be from converting to natural gas. In the instance you have on screen, this building burning 50,000 gallons of number 6 oil at $3 a gallon would save $53,000 a year. So if your conversion project costs $100,000, you would have paid for that entire project in less than 2 years. This is a very attractive payback. Every building is unique based on how much you're burning, grade you're burning, and the price you're paying for your oil supplier. So I strongly encourage you to determine your payback period and see if this makes good financial sense for your property. Once again, this is all something that you're doing in between the 60 days where Con Edison is giving you the determination. So please make sure that you are using all the tools available. You are in touch with Clean Heat. We can always help you know the right questions to ask if you are selecting a contractor and not sure really how to pick one. Please contact us. We'd be glad to help you out as far as telling you what the right questions to ask are. We obviously can't recommend any one particular contractor or contractors. We're completely unbiased, but we can help you ask the right questions. We also strongly encourage you to talk to your neighboring buildings. They are probably in this growth zone too, probably in a similar circumstance, and may have already done some of the legwork as well. So please feel free to talk to your neighbors or other buildings in your portfolio where you've converted to natural gas. Definitely consider the resources you already have on hand. Once again, these are all firm gas rates. This does not mean that the price is the same month to month. It simply means that Con Edison is committed to delivering you natural gas no matter what. You need heat, they will supply the gas for you to burn it. Gas rates fluctuate just like oil rates do. So once again, this is an estimate. It's not rock solid, but it is a very, very good estimate, if you will. Keep in mind, your oil price fluctuates similarly to natural gas. They're both commodities, but it's looking good. So you've determined how much your project will cost. You've determined your payback period, and you're satisfied that that is a good, sound investment. There are several ways to go about this. Obviously, if you have building reserves, that is the best way to do it. The next way to do it is looking at your mortgage and seeing if you can refinance. That's, once again, very low cost access to capital. But those are not the only ways. The City of New York has developed a large portfolio of financing options so that the initial cost is not a burden to the property. We want to make sure that if natural gas is available and it's something that you'd like to do, we want to make sure that you can take that first step and do the conversion itself. Please visit our website, nyccleanheat.org/content/financing. This will have a list of several individual companies that do specific financing for these type of conversion projects. We've looked at them, and they do work. There are many different models. There's equipment leasing. There's energy purchasing agreements where they will bundle the cost of conversion into a commodities contract. So there's lots of different options out there. We encourage you to look at each one. We can help you kind of navigate this. Please feel free to contact us if you have additional questions about the financing. But obviously the best person to talk to is the specific person listed on the website about that financing. Some things to have in order when you're making those calls. A couple of things that you see on the screen. I'm obviously not going to read through all of them. I will happily send a copy of the presentation out to anyone who is interested. Once again, email us, info@nyccleanheat.org, so that you can have this as kind of your guide to this process, and give us a call with any questions. So have your documents in order when you're calling in regards to financing. This will help the person on the other end of the line determine if their financing is the correct one for you to use, and make sure that it works out smoothly for you. So once you've got all of the initial steps done, you've submitted your application, you've moved through, you've gotten your estimates and selected a contractor, and worked the financing so that everything can move smoothly. There are very tight deadlines set by Con Edison. You have to make sure to keep your contractor on track. Obviously, you want to provide your contractor with these deadlines, and they should know about them already, but it is your responsibility as the building owner or property manager to keep the contractor on track. Con Edison is strongly committed to hitting all of these deadlines, but you must make sure your contractor is keeping up with them, and otherwise it could mean that you will miss out. If you miss a deadline, then Con Edison is no longer committed to bringing you natural gas, and there could be repercussions financially. So make sure to adhere to this deadline. The first deadline is April 15th. You need to have Con Edison come out and do what's called a point of entry field meet, so they can determine where the gas line is going to come into the building. They will only be doing one of these, so you need to coordinate that any building representative as well as the contractor who's actually going to be doing this work is on hand when they are showing up. They are only committing to one. Do not miss this, for any reason. It's really strong, these deadlines. I cannot tell you there is no leniency on them, so please make sure that the right people are in the right place at the right time. You can always accelerate these deadlines. You do not have to wait until the last minute. The minute you've decided to move forward with your conversion and you've submitted to Con Edison that you are moving forward, you can schedule a point of entry field meet right away. You always want to stay ahead of the timelines, ahead of the deadlines, in case you do run into problems along the way. The sooner you submit that you are participating, the sooner Con Edison can come out and do that field meet. So don't delay. You don't have to wait for these deadlines. The next one between that time frame is May 15th. You have to complete the interim gas checklist. This is a series of steps that need to be done and completed that are actual construction steps. And then once these steps have been completed, Con Edison will come out and verify completion of those steps. Got to make sure that you're not just sending this in and the steps aren't actually done, because if they come out to verify it and it's not done by then, well, then you're out, and you're going to lose out, and it's going to be very difficult. So make sure to keep up with the deadlines. You need to make sure that that gas checklist is in by the 15th, and that you verify all the work has been done. So all of those will be verified by May 30th, and then come June 17th or thereabouts, Con Edison will begin the street construction. They've got a few more constraints than individual buildings do. Obviously, it's coordinating several different agencies, including the Department of Transportation, so that they can tear up the streets, the Department of Parks to make sure that no trees or other problems get in the way. Speaking of things that can get in the way, scaffolding is a major problem. So if you are doing any brick repointing work, things like that, you need to make sure that You've got this set aside so that when Con Edison is ready to begin construction, you do not have your scaffolding up. That will cause a major problem. Definitely coordinate this with Con Edison. Sometimes you can do them at the same time. It's very rare, but try not to do a project that requires scaffolding at the same time next year that you're planning to have your gas services installed. Make sure that all permits are done and you're ready to proceed with a hookup by August 15th, and then Con Edison will do the final inspection and hook up and meter the building by September 16th, and that's before the start of the next heating season. So you will be burning natural gas cleanly, cheaply, and efficiently before the next heating season. So if you miss any of these deadlines, it's going to be very difficult. Con Edison may not be able to come back. They will be announcing more area growth zones for 2014. That's where all their energy and efforts are going to be focused the following year. So it could become very difficult and very costly if you miss a deadline. So we strongly urge you to review this, post this on your bulletin board, be aware of where you are on each step of the process. Do not wait until they are on your block and ripping up the street, because by then it will already be too late. The next slide is just a couple of frequently asked questions. Should you have an active gas service request? You've applied with Con Edison previously, your plumber or professional engineer has submitted this, and you're in the process, you're already working towards moving to natural gas. You still must submit an acknowledgement letter prior to the deadline. So even if you've got everything, your sleeve is installed, everything is in progress, you still have to submit that acknowledgement letter. Once again, this is to make sure that Con Edison knows you are, interested in moving forward on this timeline and getting natural gas in 2013. Should you, once again, continue with, the construction, just make sure to get that acknowledgement letter in. Whether you have an active gas service request, and whether it came back with a cost or no cost, make sure to submit that acknowledgement letter so that you can be considered as part of the zone and get your construction accelerated to participate in this. Should you have a building that is not in a 2013 area growth zone, you are still capable of submitting an individual gas service request to see if there is capacity and at what cost. Keep in mind, Con Edison has moved away from the previous strategy of clustering. We worked with many properties last year to build clusters. They were, short groupings of buildings, usually on the same block or 2 to 3 blocks. They have expanded that mentality and that strategy and let everyone know where it's going to be. So there are no new clusters being formed at this time. It is completely focused on area growth zones and making sure that all buildings in area growth zones are able to convert. So if you've previously submitted a gas service request and got a high cost, perhaps you will be in the next growth zone or the growth zone after that. Working with the city, we've greatly accelerated Con Edison's plan to develop and roll out these growth zones, and it's very good. Should you have an expiring boiler triennial certificate and you are interested in converting to natural gas, but it is not available at this time for a cost that's feasible to you, you do still have to convert. We strongly urge you to convert to number 2 while you're waiting for this gas capacity. We are happy to run some numbers with you and let you know more about the biofuel tax credits available for blending biofuels with number 2 oil that can make this a very attractive option. Number 2 oil actually burns cleaner than natural gas, so it is great for the environment. And once again, we are completely fuel neutral, but we understand many properties do want to convert to natural gas for many reasons, and we are here to help you with that. But convert to number 2 while you're waiting for natural gas. It is the right decision. The next set of growth zones will be announced in late summer. They're likely to build off of the infrastructure that was developed in the previous growth zones. So if you're nowhere near a growth zone, it's probably not likely that you'll be announced for 2014, but we'll all find out, all of us together, when Con Ed announces them in late summer. Once again, if they're announcing them in late summer and your boiler triennial certificate is expiring before the heating season of 2014, you do still need to do your conversion. See above, convert to number 2. If you are in a current cluster, one of the 2012 clusters, participation is still continuing. You already know that you're in a cluster. Continue with progress as usual, and continue to contact both Con Edison and your Clean Heat representative, to make sure everything is going as planned. Do not delay. So with that, that is our presentation. Kept it to just at 30 minutes. With that, I'm going to move to the Q&A box. For those of us who joined late, please see at the top of your screen a box labeled Q&A. You will be able to type in your question, and I will go ahead and answer all the questions getting typed in through Q&A. We'll go through them in order. Once I've answered several of those, I will go ahead and open up the phone lines. Right now, everyone is on mute, so you can't ask your question, but as soon as I get through the ones typed in the Q&A box, I will move forward and open up the phone lines. So first question is, will we be providing a copy of the presentation? Absolutely. Please email to request a copy, info@NYC Clean Heat. The next question is from a building who's submitted a conversion request to Con Edison, and they're ready to convert immediately. Does participating in Clean Heat get us the gas to the building quicker? Yes and no. We can help stay on Con Edison for you if you are not in an area growth zone, if you're outside of a zone. If you are in a zone, the timelines laid out are very specific, and we'll let you know exactly when the natural gas is coming. If you are in a growth zone and you've submitted this request but have not yet submitted your acknowledgement letter, make sure to email us so we can send you the correct acknowledgement letter to send to Con Edison so that you can participate in this zone. If you're unsure, please contact the Clean Heat program, and we will stay on top of your request with Con Edison and make sure that it gets all the attention it deserves. What is the next question is, what is the difference in gas rates between firm rate and not firm rate for natural gas? That is found on Con Edison's website. If you email us, I will be happy to direct you to where. The rate for not firm gas is a few cents less than firm gas. In my mind, it is absolutely not worth it, because if you go not firm gas, you have to pay for every foot of pipe that Con Edison lays in the street. This can come out to several $100,000. I don't see a way that getting a few cents less per therm could make a reasonable payback period for the investment required to lay the pipe in the street. Also, if you do not go firm gas, Con Edison can tell you to turn off the natural gas and move back to oil temporarily based on a temperature. Usually if the temperature drops very low, they can ask us on that rate to move to oil. This can cause many problems if you do not switch immediately. There are hefty fines in the several $1,000 range. You also have to maintain your oil tank, which you don't have to do with firm gas. Speaking on that, you do not have to remove your oil tank because you are moving to firm gas. You simply have to decommission it. That simply means removing the fill and feed lines from the oil tank and doing a weep hole so that if we get flooding like we had with Sandy, that tank doesn't rise up and float through your floor and cause major structural damage. So it is not a permanent move. It is a minor adjustment, but you are committed to burning natural gas. The next question is, how do you get us to come out to the community and speak to a group of buildings? If the buildings are in an area growth zone, we are very happy to come out. If you want to gather your neighbors, you can have me anytime, anywhere, pending I don't have another meeting. Same thing goes with my colleagues. We are very happy to come and speak. We have previously gone to several community boards and done presentations to the community boards to make sure they were aware of this. But if you would like to gather a specific group of buildings in an area growth zone that need to get natural gas, that is a very high priority for us right now, and we are happy to come out as early as Monday of next week. If you can get it set up, we can be there. This is another question regarding clustered properties. Is this the same program or a similar program? This is the continuation of that idea on a much larger scale. So there are no more clusters. Once again, clusters were a small group of buildings, maybe 1 or 2 blocks, whereas an area growth zone is encompassing an entire neighborhood. So this is kind of an expansion on that theory to include more buildings. This is also publicly available so that everyone knows about it. You don't have to talk to your neighbors individually. You've got the full force of Con Edison and the Clean Heat team doing the outreach on your behalf. So if you individually want to move to natural gas, go ahead and submit that acknowledgement letter and that gas service request, and you know, you don't have to reach out or rely on your neighbors to do the same thing. It's dispersing the cost not just on a single block, but on an entire neighborhood. And so it is kind of a continuation of that principle on a much larger scale. Next question is, if a property is having financing problems, will the program offer alternatives? Absolutely. Please reach out to us with the specifics of your property. We are very happy to help you get financing you need to undertake this conversion. We want to make this happen for you, and we have a lot of programs specifically designed to help these buildings convert. So do not hesitate to contact us. Financing is a large part of our program. You know, this is a big deal, and we can help get you access to the financing you need to make this happen, so that you can take advantage of the very low cost of natural gas and hopefully improve the financial situation of the building in the long run. Next question is, I have an active service request from last year, but some of the information is wrong. Does this need to be corrected before the deadline, or is this something that can be done after? No, if your service request is still active, but the information needs to be updated, yes, please update that before the deadline and submit the acknowledgement letter with the corrected information, or contact Con Edison to have them close that case so that you can start a new one with the correct information. I'm not 100% sure which path is easier, but please contact your Con Edison rep and let them know you are in a growth zone, you do have an active request, and you want to update that information. Is it better to update the existing application or to launch a new application? That will give you the definitive answer. The next question is, do you have to clean out the tank for 6 and 4 oils when converting? If you are converting to natural gas, I do not believe so. If you are converting from 6 or 4 to number 2, then yes, you do have to clean out the tank. So you simply have to decommission the tank, and if you have questions about exactly what goes into decommissioning, please email us, and we will outline that for you so that you can follow each of the steps, and if necessary, contact the Department of Buildings or DEC regarding your tank conversion. We've gone through all of the questions on the Q&A box. I am now going to open up the lines to verbal questions. If you have your phone and do not have another question to ask right away, please put your phone on mute individually to minimize the background noise. Thanks.
Thank you.
So a couple of others in the Q&A box came to the seminar late. Tell me what the advantage of converting to gas heat with the Clean Heat program. Converting to gas is financially beneficial right now. The Clean Heat program is completely unbiased. If you convert to gas or number 2 oil, we're very happy. We're here to make sure you're in compliance with the law. but many property managers prefer natural gas for the financial advantages. Doing this as part of the area growth zone is the way to get the building to get gas capacity to the building at the lowest possible cost. So that's definitely a big deal. So if you are interested in converting to natural gas for the financial benefits, the maintenance benefits, please reach out to the Clean Heat team with your list of properties. We'll explore if they're in the zones or if they're outside of the zones, what you need to do to explore natural gas individually. I think that's all the questions. If no one has anything else, thank you all for joining me. It was a pleasure to have everyone. Please urge you to contact info@nyccleanheat.org with your buildings so we can explore what zones they're in. If you do still have further questions that you didn't get a chance to ask, please email us your contact information, and we'll be happy to reach out to you on a one-on-one basis and answer your questions right away. Thanks so much, and have a great day.